Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Costanza, a podcast about something. I am your host, Joe Costanza, not to be confused with someone who lost a Pez dispenser in a pothole, George Costanza from Seinfeld. Did he do that, or was that Kramer?
Oh, I don't remember that episode. I think it was probably him.
All right, this is episode 13, I want to say? 13, 14? Yep, episode 13. All right. Today is going to be a special-ish episode. It is I kind of referenced this in a couple other podcast episodes where I kind of did a brief mini review about it, but the other day we finally finished Game of Thrones. The Some people considered back then to be the greatest show of all time, and I say back then, and you'll see why. But spoilers throughout. If you have not seen the show, I suggest you click off because I think it's a great show. But
Minus
yeah,
one
there's some
season.
yeah. So let's get started. So I feel like we should just go one per season, and we shouldn't just jump forward or backwards. I feel like we should just focus on one season. So let's
Oh,
start off
okay.
with season
I gotta tell
eight.
you, I don't really. Okay.
No, I'm
That's fresh
kidding.
in
I'm
my
kidding.
mind. Okay. It's just like I don't really remember all the way back to like season one. That's still kind of blurred because it's the beginning of the series.
I kind of remember season one a little bit. I can kind of uh think of some stuff to talk about, and also I got Wikipedia up, so
And since we
uh,
binged it, it's kind of like all one season to me because I
and by
lost
binging it,
track.
I mean we took like 2 months to finish the fucking show. So, anyways,
Yeah.
um, the first season is kind of like the introductory season. I mean, no shit, because like it introduces all these characters they're like Jon Snow and uh, fuck's his name, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys
Oh,
Targaryen,
and I
and the
and I
Starks.
I gotta say, I do remember the very beginning of the first episode, how they showed those guys out in the snow, and then the White Walker came after them. I like it how
Yep,
that was like foreshadowing all the way in the beginning that this is the real threat that's at hand, but everyone is distracted with like who's gonna rule, that they don't even consider the real threat that's coming to kill them all.
that is true. Yeah, but we got a lot more to talk about the White Walkers. But yeah, and I think it also opens up with a beheading as well. Like right after that, I
Yeah,
think one of the survivors reported back to Ned Stark, and he's like, "I'm gonna have to kill you, dog."
because he was a member of the Night's Watch and he deserted.
Yeah, that's true. Um, and also Ned Stark. He is played by most of you probably know him as Boromir from Lord of the
Lord
Rings.
of the Rings.
Yeah,
Completely
and
different character in the show.
yeah, completely different. Because I actually really like Ned Stark in here.
Yeah, he was such a great guy. I was kind of shocked when they kind of took his head. I mean, I kind of got
Yeah,
spoiled about it, but
that
still,
was my fault. But yeah,
I'll
uh,
never forgive you. I'm joking.
and also there's Robb Stark. There's
Yeah,
it also introduces the whole like Stark family. Like there's Sansa, there's Arya, and also it's kind of weird and
Bran,
also a
Rickon,
little yeah, Bran back when he could walk.
when
Uh,
Rickon, yeah,
it's kind of
back when he could
weird
walk.
seeing all the Starks. Uh, First of all the Starks together, and second of all, just seeing like Arya and Sansa so young because I think they started the show when they were like 10 or 11, I think, and now they're like these grown women and stuff. It's kind of crazy to see.
And
'Cause
also
Arya
just,
was
but even Bran, like he was like what 10, and then like he like at the end he's like like teen or something, and Rickon, he was like the youngest. He was like what 5, uh
yeah.
and
It's
then
it
we didn't see him for like a whole season, and then he was like, oh, now he's like grown up and stuff. It's
right. It's
crazy.
Yeah, I love how shows do that. Like when you grow up with stuff like Harry Potter or Stranger Things and stuff, and now Game of Thrones, like you just grow up with the characters, watch them grow, and see like how old they've, especially the kids, like how old they've become and all that, what they've been through. It's kind of cool. What else happens?
Uh,
Daenerys
they
gets
they introduced Satan's son, Joffrey.
and Satan's wife. What's her name? How the fuck do I forget her name? Cersei.
Yeah, Cersei.
Yeah,
Not to
Satan's
be,
wife, Cersei.
and by Satan's son, not to be confused with the oldest son, who was Ramsay. Later on, introduced.
Ran- No, that's his nephew. But anyways,
And his nephew. The two of them would
so
get
yeah,
along
I,
perfectly.
God, I hate Joffrey so much. He like I don't think he was as bad as he was in the later seasons, but you could definitely tell he's like starting to. Actually, no, never mind. He
Okay,
forced Ned to kill a dog. Never mind.
but okay, the thing that gets me is not only that he's so evil, but also that he's such a punk as well. I could kick the
He,
shit out of that guy.
he's
I
such a
could
little
fucking do
shit,
that. Like
dude.
whenever he
Yeah,
gets attacked, he's like, "Oh no, don't!" And then when he's attacking others, it's like, "No mercy." Like, fuck you.
exactly. I am not tired. That's an actual line in the show. I forget
I'm,
which season it was, but
I'm not tired.
God, the actor does such a good job, but my
I
God,
know.
I
He,
hate that character so
I
much.
don't hate the actor. I think people are stupid as hell if they hate on the actor for playing a character. At that
Exactly.
point, you should just hate yourself.
Exactly. Show no mercy on yourself. Like Jesus, man. Uh, oh my
Like
God. And I
I can understand if you don't like the actor as a person, but not liking them based on a character that they play in a show that's fictitious is completely stupid.
exactly. You gotta have like I feel like I forget his name, Jack Gleason. He's also in Batman Begins. I think he's a good person in real life. If he was a scumbag, then yeah, it's like all the hate towards him. But from what I've seen, he's not that bad of a guy. He's just a good actor, you know.
Yeah, from what we've
And
seen.
yeah, and the script is also good. Like well, not the script. The story is also good. Like I love the like how it's basically a Game of Thrones. Basically, like people are just fighting over like
Yeah.
throne.
I gotta say I loved the first season, the introduction of the characters, and
Yeah, this was a good season.
and even the importance of the characters, like how Bran was seeing visions of a three-eyed raven in his dreams, which more foreshadowing. Uh Sansa, I did not like her in the beginning seasons because I thought she was an
I hated
idiot, and then
Sansa.
and then she got better. It's just because she made the dumbest choices. Like even when she had a chance to leave King's Landing with Tyrion, she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here where they want to kill me." I'm like, "Don't be surprised if anything bad happens to you." And then she was surprised
Exactly.
that something bad happened to her. I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot. You
The
deserve it."
surprise Pikachu face moment.
Who could have
God.
predicted this?
To the surprise of nobody. Anyways,
She got
I
better, but she really annoyed me.
yeah,
Uh,
well,
and also
I
like
wouldn't say she got better.
the foreshadowing of like even Arya learning how to fight with a sword, and like that kind of like foreshadowed that she become like a dangerous person later on. And
Yeah, I liked that the trainer guy. He was cool.
I forgot about him. Yeah. Oh man, he was such a good guy. Yeah.
And I really yeah, Ned Stark was great.
There's
T
Catelyn Stark as well.
Catelyn, yeah, he was great.
Although
Jon Snow.
I do think like her hatred towards Jon Snow was kind of. I mean, I can understand that she thought that
Oh, I forgot
Ned
she hated
Stark
Jon Snow.
cheated on her, and like, but you shouldn't just hate the child just because of what happened or
Yeah,
what
that's
she
kind of
thought
a dick
happened.
move.
Because like she even said, like I remember she was telling the woman who would eventually be Robert's wife, Rob Stark's wife. She was saying to her how when John got sick one time and she was like praying that he'd come back, she's like, I promise I'll be good to him if you like spare his life. Well, his life was spared, but she was never good to him afterwards. And I kind of think that that's messed up that he probably viewed her like a mother and then she just hated him.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't.
I forgot about another member of the Stark family. It was, I mean, was he's not technically a Stark, Theon,
Yeah, Theon, back when he
the
had
guy who was
balls.
living with him,
Um, so
and the balls to do what was right.
yeah, exactly. I I can't remember what he did in this season. Did he do anything in particular? Like,
I have a vague memory of them finding the dire wolves, and he didn't get one because he wasn't really their brother. I remember that.
mm,
Oh, and I think I'm the only one who noticed this between our family, but I think each direwolf represented a member of the Starks, and each time a Stark dies, a direwolf dies. For example, Ned Stark killed Sansa's dog, and then Ned Stark died. Robert, he died, and his dog died as well. And Rickon died, and his direwolf died as well. And I noticed when Jon later on in like seasons afterwards, when Jon Snow dies, his dog doesn't die, and then that hints at the fact that he might come back.
I think
So,
that's yeah, I think that's probably the plan that they did because like
oh, the
Game of
dogs, the
Thrones,
wolves.
yeah, because I think that's what the plan was that George R. R. Martin had. I feel like that's what he intended on doing. But that
I
is
think
that is
it's like
a good thing.
symbolism, yeah.
It is symbolism, yeah. Uh, yeah, my favorite character by far. Like you could tell, like probably not like in the first season, but definitely later on in the series. Tyrion Lannister is by far my favorite.
Yeah. I mean,
I really
I liked him all throughout. I liked him from the first season and he was first introduced onwards.
he was good in the first season, but I just feel like as time went on, especially like in season 4, I think season 4 is his best role by far. I think Tyrion is just great. Even in the shitty seasons, he's like,
I think he
well,
was
actually, I
great
can't
throughout. Well, he was great throughout except for the last one.
look into
And
that. Yeah.
yeah, we'll get to that.
Um, Also, the most
But he
boring
was so good.
character of all time. Well, actually, one of the most. I wouldn't say the most. We'll get to that storyline later. Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, Joe found her. I didn't find her as boring as Joe did. There were some moments that I did like her freeing some of the slaves. He found all that shit boring. Like I
I
think
just
he
didn't
only
like her.
you only perked up when dragons were attacking, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
the dragons are badass.
I know.
I fucking love the
I
dragons.
thought she was boring too in some moments, but you were a bit too harsh, I gotta say.
I maybe I was a little too harsh because I think Bran's story is probably a little more boring, but I just don't
Yeah,
like Daenerys.
he's isn't he absent for like season 5 entirely?
Yes, he is.
That's how insignificant his story was.
Ah, God, and yeah, but I don't hate Daenerys that much in the first season because like it's just like all right, this is the
It's your
introduction, I can
introduction.
forgive it.
Oh yeah, I remember she had a brother. Yeah, I didn't like
Yeah,
that guy.
and Jason Momoa, he's in that too.
Yeah, he was that Dothraki guy.
I also forgot to mention,
Compared to the Dothraki that we see later on, I would say he was pretty good. When you first meet him, you don't think he's all that good. You think he's a savage. But compared to the others you see later on, he was a lot better.
right? And I gotta say, I forgot about this. Jamie and Cersei, that whole shit, that came out of fucking left field in the first episode.
Yeah, that okay. I do gotta say, in the earlier seasons, all the sex is completely unnecessary. Now,
Completely.
there's a difference between like in a Hollywood movie when two people have sex. It's a little cliche, but that's fine. But there's a difference where it literally becomes a porno for like an entire episode. That's like 10 minutes. You don't need to see 10 minutes of like showing everything and also
Right.
like incest and all sorts of other like fucked up shit.
God,
Like
the
you don't
incest
need
was
to see that.
awful.
You don't need to see that. And in
Yeah.
one season, they even had a hint of pedophilia as well. So all
Yeah.
that stuff, I if they took that out of the show, it would have been perfect. It was the only time it was necessary was Jaime and Cersei because that's what started like the war of like the Five Kings when they pushed Bran out the window and stuff because he saw that happening.
Yeah, that was the only.
That was the only time
Yeah.
that I would have said I don't like it, but it makes sense why it's in there. Everything else was completely like like Littlefinger's brothels. You didn't need that stuff.
Oh
You
my
didn't
god.
need
Yeah,
it.
the fucking yeah. My god, it was so
Oh
bad.
god.
I mean, I think like besides that one scene in the first episode, name one sex scene in literally any fucking movie or show that is necessary for the
It's not.
story.
It's not.
I think I heard
Literally,
like Oppenheimer that sex scene was necessary, but I'm like, it's fucking sex. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Just tell the goddamn story without naked bodies.
I know. This shit I think was like it was too much.
It was way too much. It makes the boys look PG, which I'll get to that some other time when I finish the series. But yeah, good God. But I'm gonna sound like a complete fucking hypocrite for saying this. I really like the action, and I like how brutal it is.
Okay. I will say
Like
I do like
people,
the brutality, but I don't like the the weird stuff.
yeah, like people are just gonna call me out. Like you like the violence, like the fucking gory ass violence, but you don't like you don't like coitus. Like what the fuck?
I'm happy I don't know what that means.
Sex is another word for sex.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, it's just
Why
God,
use a more difficult word? Three-letter words are much easier.
I don't know. I just wanted to be different. But yeah,
Fucking English language.
there's a Game of Thrones is known for some of the most shocking moments in the series. And in
Uh,
season one, it's when Ned Stark dies because
yeah,
people
you're
thought,
not.
including
He was
myself,
the main. People thought he was the main character because he was the main character in season one. But the fact that they kill off the main character makes you think, what will they do now? Who won't they kill off?
yeah, it makes you think no
But
one is.
yeah, no one is safe because usually movies have like a cliche where like you can't kill off the main character. This show's like, fuck that, we'll kill off whoever the hell we want to
Right, exactly. You got another movie project? Fine. Here's your fucking death, asshole.
kill. So I was thinking about taking a little break from the show. Okay, you're gonna die.
Behead him.
It's
Uh,
like I'll have another project. I just want to
hey,
take a little bit of time off. Okay, we're
hey,
gonna kill you.
I'm sorry. I have a funeral to go to, so I can't film.
You're off the show. Well, no, it probably wasn't that. It was probably following the books because
No, yeah,
Game of Thrones is based off of a book series. I don't even think it's complete yet, called A Song of Ice and Fire.
yeah,
And I think our dad he was reading the first book. He said it's exactly like almost 1-to-1 with the first season of Game of Thrones. So that stuff was already planned.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we'll get to this later, but I think it's like the first six seasons that are based off the books. But you can definitely tell.
They tangent off at one point. I do remember he told me that for like the Ramsey stuff, that was Arya who was going through that in the books, not Sansa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Arya was the one who was supposed to marry him, not Sansa, I think, in the books. I could be wrong
Oh,
about that, but
imagine that. God damn.
and you
Um,
could search that up if you want. I don't know. That
yeah,
might be
I'll search it up when we
misinformation.
get to season like five or six. But yeah, you could definitely tell when they followed the books because I'd argue seasons one through four are like the best seasons by far.
Yeah,
Hello? Oh, okay. Um,
I know
yeah,
you were talking.
I think. What else happened?
Um, Robert died. Robert Baratheon. He was a king.
Oh yeah, yeah, Robert. I forget
Okay,
how he. Yeah.
so
Oh,
okay, so Robert, my opinion about him. Uh, at first, I didn't like him. I recognized that there was some goodness in him, but I didn't really like him because he was always drunk and had horrors. But compared to the like Cersei and other people later on, I gotta say I want him back. He was
yeah.
Out of all of them, he was the best, and he was like a pig.
He was like the least asshole of the
he,
bunch.
yeah, he was the least asshole. And I remember, like, he had the assassins that killed Daenerys, but Ned Stark convinced him otherwise. He's like, okay, fine, I'll call off my assassins out of her. She's just a young girl. Like, I
If it was
understand.
Joffrey, he'd be like, "I really want to kill her." Oh my god. Also,
If I can't kill her, send in a couple puppies for me.
um
I think they
also
mentioned they did that or something in the show.
I think he did. Also Jaime Lannister in the early season, he reminds me so much of Loki. Like just because of how
Except for the
sarcastic he
fact
is.
he's out fucking his sibling, but
Well, I mean, he fucked himself. So
that was a variant. That's different, Joe.
he's fucking himself though. It's the
It's the same but different.
it, it's whatever.
It's not
But
the
anyways,
same.
yeah. So yeah, Jamie, I feel like in the first two seasons, like he's just so sarcastic and funny that I think if it wasn't Tom Hiddleston that was Loki, I think Nikolai Coster-Waldau would be a perfect Loki. And yeah, so moving on to season two.
Okay, what happened in that season? I don't remember.
Um,
Stupid chair. Okay.
I think they all got split up after Ned Stark died because someone took Arya.
Was Ned
Just
Stark's
got
death the end of the first season?
it. I think it was the episode before that, but yeah, it was
Yeah, I do remember that guy from the Night's Watch, I think, took Arya because Ned Stark told him to.
So yeah, because I think the Starks split up in here. Like I think Sansa stays in King's Landing.
Yeah, she stays in King's Landing.
Arya
Bran,
disguises as a boy.
yeah, yeah, Arya disguised boy. Bran, he stays behind, I think, at Winterfell because he can't move.
I think this is where we get introduced to Hodor, and
Yeah, Hodor. I remember.
yeah, and I think
Oh
Rob.
wait, was it the first season that they tried to kill Bran? Remember there was like assassins that came with like a knife to kill
Yeah, that
him?
was the second episode.
Oh, okay. Oh
Um.
yeah, he fell in the first. Yeah, okay.
Oh, Sam! I forgot about Sam. I think he showed up in season one.
Sam? Sam was
Yeah,
on? I don't think so.
yeah.
Was he? Wait, so yeah, John, he was sent off to the Night's Watch season one. Maybe he did beat Sam. I don't remember. I think Sam was like a new recruit or something later on.
Yeah, he appeared in season one.
Oh,
Um. Yeah,
how can we
I
forget
really like
about him?
Sam.
He was so nice.
Yeah,
Such a nice guy. How can we forget?
Yeah.
He's just so pure. Like he thought he needed to get pardoned for stealing books.
Yeah.
All the crimes that he committed is like, pardon me for stealing
Pardon
books.
me, I stole some books from a library.
Now they're overdue as well. Don't torch me.
Please punish me for stealing some books. Uh, God, we're the most dysfunctional YouTube channel. This, uh, I forget what Rob did. I think he was trying to like do some king shit. Bran goes off to find his purpose. Arya goes off to disguise herself as a boy and like fucking go in hiding. Rob goes off to do some king shit.
Is that what it says on there?
No.
Rob goes off to do some king shit.
It's funny on Wikipedia. Bran finds his purpose in life. Arya disguises as a boy. Rob does some king shit.
Rob does some king shit. Jon Snow is in the Night's Watch.
Jon Snow, he knows nothing.
He knows nothing still. Sansa, we don't need to mention her. She's an idiot.
Jake watched her sister, fucks his sister.
Cersei, still a bitch.
Tyrion, still small.
Joffrey, seriously, when will this guy die?
Oh
Just
god.
get bored on the Wikipedia
I
page.
I
Just
can't
go through it.
remember. I can't remember what happens. I think we get introduced to the one-eyed guy. I forget his name. Stannis, I think. I
One
think it's.
eyed.
Oh no, it's not Stannis. It's you know the guy that came back to life like 6 times by the
Oh,
witch.
that guy. Yeah, that wasn't Stannis. The fuck are you talking about?
I forget who it was. I know it wasn't Stannis. I
I
forgot. I
never
think
caught his name. I just call him Eye Patch Dude.
Nick Fury. I forget. Joffrey does
He
some
was
more.
part of the pro. Yeah.
That's weird that I remember more from season 1 than 2. And 2 I think
Oh,
was a
wait.
better
Did we
season.
did we meet Gendry in season 2? He was
I think we
Robert's
did.
bastard.
I think we did.
Yeah, and then
And
Hot
we
Pie
also
was.
meet what's her name? Jon Snow's wife in real life. I forget the redhead chick. I forget her name.
Was it the
Ygritte,
Ygritte?
that's her name. Yeah.
Oh, that was his wife in real life
Yeah, they married.
after the show or
No,
before.
well, they dated during the show. They obviously met during the show, but yeah, I think it was like right after the show ended they got married. So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, we also get introduced to what the fuck's her name? What? Why can't I think of her name? Marjorie. We get introduced to Marjorie.
Oh, yeah.
um, and also the king. Like it's a whole love triangle there between Marjorie, the king, and her brother. Like, is the king is gay, and like she kind of fucking knows that. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
she,
that was her brother. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, and she was like, "Do you want me to? Do you want my brother to come in to help?" I'm like, "Oh, she knows. Okay."
Yeah, that was kind of. I didn't expect her to say that.
That was fucking weird. I was like, okay, it went from somewhat hot to awkward. So, so and also, wait, I think it's this season that Theon kills in quotations Bran and Rickon.
Yeah, I think it was that season. It could have been 3.
I think it no, because he gets captured in 3. I
Well, he
think it's
gets
2.
captured after he takes Winterfell, so it was like the same season, right?
No, I think it was 2.
Because
Like near the end because
because after he took over Winterfell, they hit him in the head and knocked him out, and then he woke up inside of that dungeon. And I remember Rob Stark was still alive during that time because I think he was the one who ordered to have him captured, but he didn't know what was exactly happening to him.
yeah. And I gotta admit, I liked Rob Stark at first, but then I'm like, he's kind of a dick, a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm just like, okay, I'm not really digging Rob Stark. um, what else? There's just more shit. I think we get introduced to Tywell in here, or is that like in season 3?
Uh,
Tywell, I think
I
the
don't.
king.
Uh, oh, I don't know if we meet him in this one. Do we? Hmm.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Uh, I am sorry. I'm like drawing a blank here. I can't remember what happens in season 2. Uh, Night's like I
Shit
yeah.
happens. Robert does some king stuff.
I do
Rob does some king stuff.
king shit. I remember in the final episode, Sam gets lost in the Like Sam gets lost in the middle of nowhere, and he sees like a
Yeah, in the
lot of
woods. Yeah.
he sees the White Walkers, and they don't kill him.
Oh yeah, that scene. Yeah, his
That was
two
a cool
friends
scene.
abandon him as well,
Yeah,
and you
and we
just see
also get
this
it.
whole army of the dead. Yeah, I don't know why
And
they
we
didn't kill him. The White Walker looked right at him and did nothing.
also I remember there was this one part where they were trying to look for a bastard, and I think his name is I think it was Gendry, and they were trying to kill him.
Yeah,
Remember that part?
yeah. Is that the part where they took Arya's sword?
I think so. Yeah, and we also get introduced to the faceless god motherfucker. Forget his name.
Oh,
He's
the
from
faceless
Stranger Things.
man.
Yeah.
He wasn't a
Um,
god. He was just a
well, the,
faceless man.
it's,
He
it's
worshipped the faceless god.
yeah, the crazy motherfucker, that guy. What else? I can't remember shit. Oh,
Man is not crazy.
the fight that Tyrion had in King's Landing. Remember the Blackwater Bay fight?
Oh yeah, the Battle of Blackwater Bay. Yeah. And then he got
Yeah,
slashed across
that
the
was a
face.
cool yeah, that was a cool fight. I remember
Oh,
saying like that's the best episode, and then more came right after. I'm like, okay,
wait,
that's
wait, wait,
probably.
wait, 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 wait. Who was Tyrion's lover during that time?
I think
What
it
was
was
her
Shay.
name? Shay. Yeah, that's when we got introduced to her. Because I remember
Yeah,
she was there. I gotta say, I liked her and Tyrion, but then after what happened
yeah.
happened.
We'll get to that. Uh,
Yeah,
isn't I think Sansa and I think they're either about to get married or they do marry in this season because
I think it was the
Joffrey
next one.
and Sansa. It might
Joffrey
have
and
been the next
Sansa.
one. Yeah,
I
Joffrey and
remember.
Sansa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they were supposed to get married in the first season. Yeah, maybe the second one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I forget.
That would have been hell. Yeah, I
I
remember the
remember.
Hound was there.
Oh yeah, the Hound. I like how he just fucked off from the fight after he saw fire. He's like, "Fuck this, fuck the king."
He's like, fire, fuck that, and leaves.
That's it. I quit. I'm done. I
All
say
the
fire. Fuck this.
all the things he does, like kills a butcher's boy, fine. Watches Sansa get bullied by Joffrey, fine. Fire, fuck this.
Fuck this. Says you want to come with me? No. Fuck you. All right, I'm going.
Yeah, he's like, Sansa, want to come with me? I know you won't hurt me, but I'd rather stay in a place where I'm 100% going to die. Oh, okay.
Where I'm just gonna get tortured and fucking destroyed by Joffrey. Like, but nah. Like, I know you're a decent guy and hate your brother, but I don't want to go with you. Ew, your fucking face burnt. Ew. I
Your
don't like
face
you.
burnt. Gross. I'd rather go with a psychopath who'll probably strangle me in
You're
my sleep.
you're tall. I'd rather date people who are 5'8".
I'd rather date a psychopath who's probably going to kill me after he's done with me. What a fucking
Exactly.
idiot. What an
God damn.
idiot.
I hated Sansa, man. I fucking hated her.
It took her like how many seasons to grow a brain?
I can't remember when she actually did some good shit.
I think it was like five or something. It took her like 5 seasons to
It,
grow
it
a
actually
fucking
might have been,
brain.
yeah.
She's
And
like,
she
you know
did.
what? She just woke up one morning and was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be an idiot. And just decided not to be.
Maybe I should just be smart about this shit. Maybe I should just actually do some good shit.
Who could have figured? It's not like Tyrion and everyone else was telling me the entire series to be smart. Wow. I
Exactly.
did it all on my own. I think she even took credit for that. Like, oh, I did it all on my own. Yeah, no
Yeah,
way.
I think. Ah, that's stupid. Um,
None of that bad stuff would have happened to her if she just went with the Hound. That was a way out, and she didn't take it.
yeah, that was bad. Um, Now we're going to season 3, where I think. Also, we're introduced to Brienne Tarth, and she takes
Oh yeah, yeah,
Jamie.
yeah,
I like Brienne Tarth. She was great.
yeah. I liked her. I love
And
how they always mentioned like that's a big woman.
yeah, season 3. I'm gonna say this until like season 4. This is better than season 2 and 1. I really like this season a lot.
What happened in 3?
there's a lot of shit that happens in three.
Because remember,
There,
it's like all blur for me.
Jamie and Brienne get captured, and Jamie loses his fighting hand.
Oh, that was that season. Wow, I thought that was four.
In and Daenerys finally does some cool shit, and by Daenerys I mean they're fucking dragons. They like she says Joy Carlos, and they fucking burn some dude.
Oh yeah, and the
Nothing important, just some random dude. Like it's
we
like,
didn't
hey,
even mention
it's
Daenerys in the
funny.
second season.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck she did.
She did nothing in the second season.
It's
Literally,
so
the entire hype for her is she's a mother of dragons, and that's it. That was her only
it's just
significance.
it's just her dragons. That's it. That's the only thing. That's the only reason why people like her. They don't really care about
They
like
don't
her
actually
fucking
care.
yeah. They don't care about her like her actual character. Like okay, well, like when they locked the dragons up, I think it was this season. I'm like, damn, she just got rid of two of her best features. like
Three.
they well, was it three? I think she got rid of one. Didn't
There was
she
three
kept one?
dragons. There was three dragons. One got killed by the by the White Walkers. Another one got killed by an arrow. And then she had only one left. She had
No,
three
I'm
dragons.
talking about when she put them in a dungeon. I think it was
And she
two
put them in a
dragons.
dungeon.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. One
yeah.
escaped. Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, she was so insignificant. We didn't even talk about her
She
in the
was
second
so
season.
bored. God, and
Yeah, you
I
know what,
can't
Joe?
remember.
That's probably why she went insane. She probably realized everyone hates me. I'm gonna kill everyone now.
Yeah,
You think I'm boring? Watch this.
you think I'm boring? Let me watch me burn some random dude.
Watch me
God.
burn a city.
And I guess there's more stuff with Bran. Like even in the good seasons, Bran's just a boring fucking character. I don't know what the fuck
Yeah.
he does. Oh, the climb, the climb of the wall. That was a good scene.
Oh
And
yeah, the climb. Yeah, I
um,
remember that.
I really enjoyed that part. And it was when they Ygritte and Jon Snow they finally like made out and stuff. And I forget who's the guy, the leader. I think isn't it
The
I
leader
forget
of
his name.
whom?
Leader of the whole group and stuff. The one that tried to kill Jon Snow.
The Night Watch, the Wild Things. What group?
The one that I forget his name. He dies later on in the scene. Like
What group, Joe? You said the
I can't
group. What group?
I can't remember the group that Jon Snow the one that climbed the wall with Jon Snow and like
Oh, so
he
the Wild Things.
yeah, the wildling guy.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
one that
remember his name either.
yeah, I'm drawing a blank, but whatever. But this is the reason why season 3 is so good, and I'm not the only one who thinks this. A lot of people do. The Rays of Castamere, the Red Wedding.
Oh yeah, the Red Wedding.
I
That
purposely didn't say shit because I remember
yeah,
Berg said time I wish they focused more on the Starks. I'm like,
that's funny. Well, the I did not expect that. I had no idea about the Red Wedding. I knew about Stark because of someone. Ned Stark is of someone, Joe. But that was an accident. But the Red Wedding, I was surprised about. I didn't expect them to kill off like what was it like four main characters? Three.
yeah, they
Well,
killed Caitlyn. They
they
killed
killed Catelyn. They killed Rob. They killed his wife and
Lisa. They
unborn
killed his hot
child.
wife. Yeah. Forget who else. There's someone else. I forget who, but yeah, that is like the moment. Like people say Ned Stark is the turning point. I think this is the turning point because they killed off Rob Stark. I'm like, holy shit, they actually killed off someone major again.
Rob, I really liked him as king in the North. I thought he was going to be a good king, and he didn't even want the Iron Throne. He just wanted to get revenge. I think he just wanted to save his sisters because he thought that they were both captured by Joffrey. So
I did like
he just wanted them, and he wanted to just make the North its own independent thing. And I thought
I
he was a good man, but
Yeah,
then he
I did
died.
like Rob Stark in this season, and they killed him off in the most shocking way possible. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man! Like I saw it coming. I knew I got spoiled like years ago before I considered watching the show. I'm like, yep, it's coming. And like I love all the little hints and like foreshadowing. Like if we rewatch that episode, I guarantee you there's like 5 or 6 scenes where it's like, oh yeah, they hinted at that
Yeah.
because like I forget it was something involving Walder Frey. I think he said um uh like we must celebrate or I must I forget the fucking foreshadowings, but I noticed that I made like a blank stare, but deep down like on the inside I'm like, "Oh, you clever son of a bitch." You predict like they they thought of this shit. I'm like, "God damn, that's some clever writing right there." Uh
That probably came from the books.
it did, yeah, all of it came from the books. But yeah.
Uh,
Um,
so we're done with three.
yeah, I forget how it ends, but
It ends with uh an episode.
oh, I forget. Arya was trying to go to see Robb Stark, but then she got
Yeah, yeah. She was trying to see Rob, and then I think yeah,
the
no,
Hound captured her.
the Helm was he captured her and was trying to ransom her to Rob, but he died, and he was like, "Well, shit," and just knocked her out and had to take her.
Well, shit, I guess that's over with.
It's like, "Oh shit, he's dead," so he just decided, "I'm gonna take you to your aunt, I guess."
Well, shit, fuck the king.
And then hilariously, she died as well, and is like, "Well, shit, I guess I just have you."
Fuck the king. So,
It's like it's like I have this annoying girl and I have no money. Yay! I didn't think she was annoying, but he did.
Also, I remember Jamie talked about like his past and
Hmm.
it's the king that he killed. I thought that was like a deep and emotional scene, and I kind of changed it because people thought that Jamie was like a villain. He's not really a villain. He's just kind of like, I mean, he's an asshole, but I wouldn't really consider him a villain. He's kind of like like an anti-hero, I guess. But he's still a sister figure, so he's
Well,
still a villain.
I would still identify him as a villain because he was one of the antagonists of the show in the sense that he started the War of the Five Kings by pushing Bran out that window and was against many of the major characters throughout the show. He did do some good things, however. Just because he was a villain doesn't mean that he didn't have any good in him. Like he went back to try to save Brienne and even stopped her from like getting raped that one time. He stopped her from that happening, and he saved her from that bear inside of the there's like a ring or something. He saved her from that. So we do see, and he also killed the Mad King because he said like the king was gonna like burn everyone down in King's Landing. So we see that there was like he was a good person like somewhere in there, but he also did some pretty awful things. So you can't really say he was a good guy.
He wasn't a good guy, but I feel like he's more like an anti-hero than a villain.
I mean, they all are. I mean, they're all kind of fighting for
Yeah,
themselves
dude,
or like
no
their own interests.
nobody's really the good guy in here. So not even
No
like
one
Jon
is
Snow.
perfect or no one is perfect or pure. That's the thing is that there is no black and white like in like most movies that there's someone all good or all evil. It's more like real life that everyone has their own motivations. Some might be
Yeah,
more pure than others, but it's still your own motivation.
right. I forget what else happens. I it was on the
Are we
tip of my
gonna go
tongue.
like through every single season?
Yeah, from what we can remember, yeah. What else fucking happened? Uh,
It doesn't really matter. I don't think. I think we talked about enough about season three.
all right, season 4, best season by a long shot. Like
Halfway
not even a
there.
competition. Living on a prayer. But yeah, I love season 4 probably almost as much as Breaking Bad season 5, just because I love let me just talk about the main thing I remember. Joffrey fucking dies in here, and it is the most satisfying death. Well, second most satisfying death in the whole show.
Yeah, but at that point, I think it was the most
At that point,
satisfying.
it was the most satisfying. Yeah, I really.
Oh, I
Oh,
was so happy that Joffrey died. I had
yeah.
nothing but a big smile on my face. I went to bed happy that night.
World peace was world peace existed at that moment. It was crazy. Um, Also, we watched that I think like almost 10 years after it came out because we started in like April, I think. Yeah, we watched that episode almost 10 years after it released. So, um I just love that whole fucking episode, man. Like just the setup of Joffrey's death. Wondering like who did it because I knew Joffrey was gonna die, and I was like,
I mean, I
we
think we all
both
knew that Tyrion didn't do that because he carried the cup over. He didn't like put anything in the cup.
it was completely obvious. Yeah, the camera focused on him the entire time. I doubt
Like if
like
he slipped something in there, we would have seen it. And
we
also,
definitely would have.
he did not like Joffrey, but he was still family, and I don't think he would have killed his own family at that point, at least. I mean, later on.
Right. And I completely forgot about Ramsay. He shows up in the last season. He's like he's an asshole. He tricked
Not just an
Theon.
asshole, Joe. He's completely psychotic. He
Yeah,
let
he's
Theon go free just to give him false hope so that he could capture him again. He like cut like through his fingers.
yeah,
His
no,
foot, like all these.
he's a sociopath and a psychopath. And like he everything bad, like every bad word belongs to him. I'd argue he's worse than Joffrey.
I think he might be. They would get
I
along as best friends.
No, either that or they'd try to kill each other. But I think yeah, like, and he cut his balls off too. Like, he's a fucking nasty dude. And I
Man,
forget, and he also in this season, I forget which episode it was. He killed a girl just because his girlfriend got jealous.
yeah.
That's like some petty fucking shit right
And
there.
even then, he didn't even care about his girlfriend. It's like, oh, she's
He
dead.
didn't give a shit.
He's like, oh, she's dead. She was so great. The guy's like, want me to bury her? No, you idiot. Feed her corpse to the dogs. And the dude's like, what the fuck? You were just mourning.
Exactly. Also, oh, I forgot. I forget which. I think it was like in late season 3. Joffrey doesn't marry Sansa. Instead, he marries Marjorie.
Oh, yeah. Marjorie. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that whole shit happens. And I think the Laws of Gods and Men, the court scene, fucking top 3 best
Oh,
episodes in the
yeah.
series.
I
Love that
saw that. I
episode.
saw that before you did, maybe because it was like you were gone or something. We watched that, but we rewatched it with you. I thought that that was like one of the best scenes, like Tyrion at court being like, "I did not kill him, but I wish I did." It's like I wish I
Yeah,
let Stannis kill all of you.
yeah, like in that war, that I'm like, dude, he's a fucking savage, dude.
It
God
was
damn. And
badass,
and
and he
it
was
tore my
justified in
heart.
anything that he was saying.
I agree, and it tore my fucking heart because we got I think 2 3 seasons with knowing Tyrion and Shay, and yeah, she may have been a whore, but I feel like she was kind of like good to him, and she was like different from all the other ones,
He
and
wasn't.
he cared the
I
same
mean,
about her.
yeah. You talking about Shay?
Yeah, it was more than just like sex
Yeah, okay.
with
Shay,
Shay.
I don't think she was a whore to Tyrion. They were actually in love, but him saying that to her was just to get her to leave because she wasn't leaving. She was
Yeah,
gonna get
and
killed.
that's the
But the
thing.
way, but the way she took it, like the way she took it as like she didn't piece two and two together. Like, oh, he genuinely loved me, might be trying to protect me. She took it as this guy's an asshole. I'm gonna go against him in court and hope that he dies. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that tore my fucking heart. I'm like, dude, really? He truly did love her, and he was trying to like protect her and all that. I'm like, dude, that's a moral thing to do, and that's probably why I love the character so much because he cares about other people. But when when he sees Shay and all that, and all the lies she spills in the court scene, I'm like, dude, fuck. That tore my fucking heart, man. And then in the before we get to this, we get introduced to Oberyn, played by Pedro Pascal. I liked him. I thought he's fine. Um,
Oberyn. Oh, and Dorn.
yeah, yeah, that's his
I
name,
gotta.
right? Oberyn,
I think that's his name.
the one who fights the mountain.
I gotta say, I didn't like him because of the certain sex activities that he was doing.
That was weird,
He,
but
he did it way too much, and him and his wife were. I'm like, are you two fucking okay? I know you're fucking, but are you okay? Like, like it's he. I think he was a nice guy to like Tyrion, and defending him was good. But I'm like, he clearly has some fucked up thing about him.
And I love how smart Tyrion is in these earlier seasons. Like he always tries to get out scenarios in like the most clever ways possible. Like instead of like trying to like beg for mercy and stuff, like no, I demand a trial of combat and all that
Yeah,
shit. And
he
he
was
gets
so smart in the earlier seasons.
yeah. And then Oberyn fights the mountain. That was a brutal fucking fight. That was like
I
holy
honestly thought
shit.
Oberyn was gonna win because he had the mountain down. If he just struck him down, he would have survived. But he was too
Yeah.
busy
He got
mocking
way
him
too
and
cocky.
say her name, and say like putting his face right up against his. I'm like, are you stupid? Like, just come.
And I knew it was happening because I saw that too. I'm like, oh fuck, it's this scene. And then he like fucking like destroys the
Brushed
bed and
his
all that. Like,
skull.
jeez. Yeah, he crushed his fucking he crushed the man's skull like sparrow egg between thighs. But yeah. God, that was a disgusting scene. Also Wreck-It Ralph reference in case people are confused. Um and then there was a whole episode dedicated to Jon Snow where he fights I think it's basically where he doesn't become king, but he becomes like leader of the Night's Watch or whatever. Or no, Lord Commander, I think. Because
Lord Commander, yeah.
yeah, this is the fight where Ygritte dies because I forget she Jon Snow betrays her and her group at one point.
Because he's going to like warn the Night's Watch about them. And I think that
Yeah.
that was sad that they were in love, but they're on opposite sides. And, you
Yeah.
know, she was shooting the arrows at him. And we saw earlier on, like, her being able to hit something from like 100 miles away. And he's like, you'll never be able to hit that. And she got it, like, right in the bullseye. So her just hitting him with the arrows, but not hitting his heart, that was like, you know, it was intentional that she couldn't bring herself to kill him, but felt like it was her duty to do it. But
Yeah, and then she dies by someone else, and then
I do
she
think that she did a bad thing, like killing that boy's parents.
she
She
did do
shot
it.
the arrow at the father. She did some pretty evil things, but I mean, they were at war. I gotta say,
Yeah,
but
they
you
were.
know,
But like, I
she
do like how she ended her time on screen with her famous catchphrase, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." I thought that was a
yeah,
good end, and that fight was fantastic. I think it was. I think it barely beat the one in season two. That was a fantastic fight.
yeah.
Um, and then season four, episode 10, the finale of season four. I think this was probably my favorite episode until an episode in season six came out. I just love how they ended this off. They ended it off in probably the most heartbreaking but satisfying way possible. Tyrion is in a cell. He is a because Oberyn died. He lost the trial of combat, and he's preparing to get sentenced to death. And he, I forget who. I think Jamie helps him out at one point. He says like Varys will meet you up there. Don't tell like anybody or anything. Just try not to get yourself killed on your way out there or whatever the fuck. And I think he goes back to kill Tywell, but he sees Shay in his bed,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah,
And then
he goes back to kill his dad because his dad was a piece of shit. Like he knew he was innocent, yet like convicted him anyway. And Shay being in his father's bed, like calling him my lion and stuff, like he didn't expect to see her there.
well,
And
this
notice
is fucking
he didn't immediately try to kill her. She went for the knife, and he like went on top of her and like trying to get the knife out of her hand, and was like saying, don't." But oh
yeah,
god,
because oh
him
god, and then
having to
he ended up
strangle her like that was like it really hurt him to do that. Like she got
yeah.
crazy.
That was really sad. And then like you could hear like the crack of the fucking neck and he was like crying and all that. I'm like, "Fuck, man. The dude's been through more stuff than Jesse Pinkman." Like, good god.
Yeah,
This sucks. And then Tywell, his name is actually Tywin. I mistakenly called him Tywell throughout the episode. I don't know if I acknowledged that I called him incorrectly, but yeah, his name is Tywin. My fault. Gets killed. Um,
on the toilet.
on the in the bathroom. But yeah, I really love how they handled his death. Like he like there's like a nice little conversation and stuff. Like well, insults Shay and he says like like you're my son and all that shit and like blah 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 and Tyrion's like you always treated me like shit and then he shoots him a couple times. Like, and after the first arrow, I think he's like, "You're no son of mine," and then he shoots him again, and yeah, that was just so. It seems like a dumb death, but the way they did it is just so good.
Yeah,
And it, and then he goes off to wherever the fuck he was gonna go. I didn't know where he was gonna go, but I really loved how they handled that. And that was such a good episode. Easily one of my favorites of all time. Then we get
yeah.
season 5, and it's a little less good. Like I still think it's good. It has its good moments, but I can't for the life of me think of what the fuck happens.
In season 5, you said?
5. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think
I can't. I don't remember what happened.
I think Sansa marries Ramsay. I think.
Yeah,
I know there's a fight with the White Walkers at one point because Jon Snow saw the White Walkers and like the giant was like getting hit and all that shit. I can't remember what the fuck happened. I remember uh yeah, I remember. So the main thing I remember is that Theon and Sansa reunite, and they don't really reunite on good terms because she thinks that Bran and Rickon are dead because of Theon, and
yeah,
but she sees that he's like all like tortured and stuff, tries to get her out, but he's so like caught in like the fucking reek shit
yeah.
and
I
like
know.
freaking out.
Because of the mental torment that Ramsey put him through. He's like, your name is Reek, and like, especially what was messed up is like, Reek, I want you to pretend to be someone you're not. Who? Theon Greyjoy. Like, that's really like
That is
messed
fucked up.
up.
Yeah.
Like, it's like an identity crisis. It's like, who am I? Am I Reek or am I Theon?
Yeah. And like he even refused his sister to come back to say like he didn't come back with his sister when she went over there. I'm like, damn, really? He's still caught up in the reek shit.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. But
and I remember,
he eventually broke out of that. He saved her. Like he wanted her to obey Ramsay because he was terrified of Ramsay. He's like, if you don't obey him, he'll hurt you just like he did with me. And I'm happy Theon was able to kill his psycho girlfriend as well. Like
yeah,
Ramsay,
that was
he
his
he
Return of the Jedi moment.
he Darth Vadered her. He like picked her up and then threw her
He
down
did,
the.
yeah. No, no, put me down,
Put me down, Lord Vader.
no. Put me down.
Okay, I'll put you down, all right.
um, I forget what. Fucking Christ, man, I can't think.
You can think.
Yeah, and then Sansa and Theon both escape. Um, something happens with Daenerys. Oh, forgot to mention. The fuck's his name? Jorah. Like he,
Oh yeah, Sir
yeah,
Jorah, yeah.
yeah, Sir Jorah, biggest fucking simp in the entire series.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He gets fucking friend zoned later on too, which I'm like, dude, stop falling for her. She does not want you, dude.
I know.
Oh god, I think that Jorah. I think he had like a little bit of a good moment because um he tried to get Daenerys back by bringing her Tyrion. But on the way, he's like battling some rock motherfuckers, and he gets hit by one of them if they touch her
They they, they
slightly.
weren't rock people, Joe. They had like the grayscale.
Grayscales, yeah. I couldn't think of the name, so I called
The
them rock
rock people.
motherfuckers.
And he was attacked by the thing.
The thing in Korg.
It's clobbering time.
That would be even funnier if Marvel announced him as the thing. I'm like, it came full circle. Holy shit.
Now he really is the thing.
God, that was
Korg appears like, hey man, my name's Korg. There's a thing. We're gonna kick the shit out of you.
Hey man, my name is Korg. You're in our home, so we're gonna kick your ass.
Wanna die?
Wanna die? So
Gonna cry?
look at little Joros Jr. Gonna cry. So uh, oh, Jon Snow. I forgot. He dies. I forget that's like the fucking
Oh yeah,
ending.
that's the end and Jon Snow dies. I thought yeah.
Like I can't remember shit from season 5. Oh yeah, the biggest fucking point in the series, Jon Snow, he dies.
And oh yeah, I never mentioned this how I kept on predicting everything that was happening. I'm like, Jon Snow's gonna come back to life, isn't he? The Red Woman's there, and I was right. I just
Yeah.
kept on predicting shit that was going to happen, and I predicted it perfectly without any like knowledge if it was
Yeah, you did.
true.
It is sort of
Like when the White Walker shut down the dragon, I'm like, oh, that dragon's gonna be part of their army now, isn't it? And it was part of their army. I'm like, God,
yeah,
so I predicted this shit.
it's becoming predictable. Either that or like it became unpredictable and you just predicted it. But um
You're
I just
pathetically predictable, like a
yeah,
moth
but
to a flame.
yeah, but what about my generous proposal? Yeah, but yeah, season 5 was okay. I wouldn't say it was great, but it did have its good moments. Definitely a downgrade from season 4 though. Uh,
Yeah.
6. It's okay. I
What happened in 6?
there's a lot of shit that happened in 6. Bran is completely absent in season 5. Completely fucking absent. There's no sign of him at all. There's like no fucking story with him. It was just all focused on a lot of other shit.
Is that,
And
oh, you think Bran exists? Too bad he doesn't.
yeah, this one focuses a lot more on Jon Snow. I think it's more Jon Snow centered, but also Arya does some shit. And I forgot an important part of season 4. The Hound dies because he gets attacked by Brienne of Tarth, and
Oh,
he
dies, quote unquote. He doesn't
yeah,
actually die.
and Arya um she has like a list throughout the series where she has a list of people she wants
This
to
that people she
kill,
wants to kill, yeah.
and then like the list only went down because they were already fucking dead, and the Hound was on the list. She didn't kill the Hound, so
Yeah,
that
well,
was very
she took him off the list. Actually, they actually mentioned that she unnamed him, but
oh okay
that's why that was part of the reason why she didn't kill him. But I did like Arya's arc.
yeah.
I thought that she was a good character.
I gotta say, the many-faced god storyline in here, it was interesting at first, but after a while, I'm like, okay, can we just get a move on with all this shit? Like, it's so fucking stupid. And this is when I started to kind of think that Arya's a little too OP, and like, it just kind of went a little too ridiculous with her character, because she gets shanked, and she fucking survives. Like, that part, like,
Wasn't yeah, wasn't it like in like the stomach or something?
yeah, she gets shanked 1,000 times in the stomach. She fucking runs
It was like
away.
one time. It
Yeah,
happened
like
like once, not 1,000 times. If it was
no,
a
no,
thousand times, that'd be ridiculous.
no, she, and by 1,000 times, I mean it's hyperbole. Um, I think it was like 5 or 6 times, maybe, if that. She gets shanked a lot. She should have been dead, but she just gets up and runs away. She falls down the fucking stairs like John Wick, and she gets up and runs away and all that shit. It's just like really, and then she eventually kills the fucker. I'm like, really?
Well,
Really?
okay.
The
First of
John?
all, Joe,
Really?
first of all, it was not 5 or 6 times she got stabbed. Second of all, adrenaline blocks out pain, and yeah, she was losing some blood, but she eventually got patched up later on, I think. Uh, it was kind of like a horror movie for like a second. Like she was slowly walking towards her, she was running, bleeding. But about her defeating whatever her name was, remember how she sliced a candle and it went dark? I know she was a better fighter when she was blind. She was taught how to fight in the darkness. The other girl wasn't. So that's why she was able to kill her, because when she made the room go dark, she was able to like kill her in the pitch black. She was
I
essentially kind of like a ninja, essentially.
I also really like the like when she was chasing Arya, the chick was chasing Arya, she ran exactly like the T100.
Yeah.
Almost exact, like she like her fucking arms were moving like the T100 T1000. I mean, I'm like, yep, that's the T1000 in girl form. That was funny, and then she eventually killed the chick.
And Arya was a unique character in that, like, I think she was like, besides her and like Brienne, she was not really like ladylike. She was like the only like girl who was like more like a fighter, really. She was kind
Yeah,
of more of a tomboy, I would say.
yeah,
Uh,
she a tomboy, absolutely.
but yeah, and I think she cut that girl's face off and like put it on the she I think she replaced one of the faces because she had a face of a girl that she used to kill what's his name, who did the Red Wedding.
Was afraid.
Yeah, but I know she put the other girl's face on there, like she replaced the face with it, and
Yeah,
I think that's where she got the first face, was replacing it, and I think she probably stole a couple more because I
yeah,
don't think she would have just killed random people and stole their faces. Like,
yeah, and the many face shit, that's like a rate like a more brutal version of Mission Impossible. Because you know how they have like that technology
yeah,
where
Mission Impossible, yeah, you can
yeah,
change the voice and everything, but she can
yeah.
like change like her fucking like her size, everything.
That is
It's
kind
like
of weird.
it's magic. They don't know how to use essentially shape shifting magic or like
Mm.
something like that. A form of it, at least.
Yeah, and I would have said season 6 was another okay season until the Battle of the Bastards came out. This is by far the best episode in the series. It is the episode that kind of made me tear up a bit because just of how well done it was. And you know I'm an action geek. I love action, and that's why I love John
Mhm.
Wick a lot. I think this fight beats the Battle of Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings, which I consider probably the best fight of all time. This beats it because it's
Mhm.
just so well done. The way that Rickon dies is heartbreaking, and Ramsay is even more of an asshole than he ever was before. And I was really rooting for Jon Snow. I really was. I was like, please kick some ass, please do it. And he did kick ass. There's one point where it reminded me a lot of Endgame, but Endgame came out right after this. But Jon Snow was all alone. He like they're like horses and stuff coming right after him. Like there was an army charging right at him. He pulls out a sword. He gets rid of the fucking holster, and he gets ready for battle. Like he's gonna die swinging. I'm like, that is a fucking king right there.
Yeah,
That
and
is how you
oh
go out.
yeah, didn't Rickon die? Like Ramsey had Rickon run back to his brother and was like shooting arrows at him. So
Yeah, that I was like, kill this
that
motherfucker.
was fucked up. Wait, was that before or after the battle with the White Walkers?
Which
Remember when they
one?
had the one when they were attacking the wildlings? The one in
That was after
season
that.
8. I mean,
Because yeah, that was that fight was in season 5.
it was after that. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, which one? Of course, not the one from, like, season 8.
No, because I. All right, but yeah, the Battle of the Bastards was such a good fight, and like the end fight, like where it was the one-on-one combat fight with where Jon Snow was just beating the fuck out of Ramsay. I'm like, dude, punch him harder. You're not punching him hard enough. Squish his
Yeah.
fucking face.
Do you like the mountain?
Yeah, and then also off topic, but there's this one point in season 5 where Cersei was getting shamed. That was kind of a funny scene, but that was about it.
Funny.
Uh, I mean, just because of how long
That,
it
that,
went on.
that just happened. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It's like, like, the entire way to King's Landing. Shame, shame, shame. I'm like, shut the hell up. I know it's shame.
Exactly. That went on for way too long, but anyways, yeah. And then right after, like, I thought Jon Snow was gonna kill Ramsay, and I thought that would have been a satisfying death. But it turned out it was even more satisfying because
Sansa
Sansa,
did it.
yeah,
Sansa got
Sansa
it.
took the final blow, and
She got the dogs out on him and like they ate him and the
yeah,
way
because
she was like
earlier on,
mocking him as well because of after what he did to her like several times. He
yeah,
fucking
and
deserved that.
and I also like how you got to pay real close attention to what he said. Like I haven't fed my dogs in 7 days. So Sansa
Yeah,
took that
she's
as like,
like you
huh,
said so yourself.
I will take that to heart. Yeah,
And
the action was
also
fantastic,
I
and
didn't know why he wanted Sansa back because he already killed his dad and became like Lord of like whatever it was, and he already
because he's
got
arrogant.
out of Winterfell. But he didn't really need Sansa to be his wife. Like he didn't need that
I don't know. I guess he
or
just
an
wanted power
offspring.
over her, over the Starks, I guess. But yeah, and there's one point where John was like about to die, and his like he was like his team was like surrounded by the Boltons and or like Ramsay's men, and then you hear like a fucking horn from the distance, and then
Yeah.
Littlefinger, who we have not talked shit about,
Oh,
he
yeah.
came in with his army, and that and then Jon Snow gets the upper hand and wins, and then that I'm like, dude, that is gonna make me fucking cry, man.
Yeah,
That was so
Littlefinger,
good.
he's a piece of shit,
He's a piece of shit.
and he's a creep as well.
And right at this was right after we watched Peaky Blinders, and his character from Peaky Blinders is much different than Littlefinger. Oh,
I call him Pinky Finger because the little finger.
um, and also
In
the
this case,
last
Pinky is the brain.
giant. I I really enjoyed yeah, I just love this episode. This was a fantastic episode, and I this was heartbreaking that the last giant died in this fight.
Oh yeah, the last giant.
And
That
then
look that the look that he gave to Jon Snow, like he knew it was the end.
yeah, he fought honorably. And the Winter, the one right after, that was actually a really cool episode where Cersei blows up an entire fucking like building. Like that was like, well, god damn, she
Yeah,
is not at all. And Arya finally gets revenge from the Red Wedding and kills
Walter Frey. Yeah,
Walder Frey. Yeah, and I also really loved how I feel like this was probably like the last amazing episode because this was a perfect finale for season 6. This and the Battle of the Bastards, like those are like the
uh,
highest rated episodes of all
yeah.
time.
The Battle of the Bastards and Walter Frey's death were so good. Like, cause we had like many seasons where the villains were winning, or or just like kind of endings that were like uncertain. It was good to finally like triumph over like someone.
Yeah, like someone's finally dead.
Like two of the the most evil people are finally dead. Now we can like carry on. We can move on to like
Yeah,
the other
exactly.
ones.
but the White Walkers were still in the back of their minds, and that's why, oh, and Cersei as well, and that's why they still continued onwards. But
Now,
see,
I love the White Walkers and their build up, but season 8 happened. But
yeah, season 7 was the start of the downfall. I didn't hate this season.
no,
It
I
did have,
didn't hate it either. I say season 1 through 7 was amazing, but season 7 it wasn't perfect, but it had some flaws, but I think it was pretty good overall.
there's like one episode where Daenerys was fighting against like
Wait,
Jamie's
you mean
men.
Daenerys was doing something?
Yeah, and,
Oh
like
yeah,
that
the
was a
one
good
where she was
fight.
playing. Yeah,
But then beyond that, I'm like, it's kind of like a nothing season. But the
wasn't that when
final
like
episode,
Jamie tried to kill her? Like he tried to like he
yeah.
was running in with like the spear, and then uh who was Tyrion's like sellsword like tackled him into the water.
Yeah, I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about. And also, Jorah finally gets the Greystone cure or whatever the fuck by
By
him basically,
Sam.
yeah, Sam basically skinning him.
Great,
Basically,
Sam's a great guy.
he's a good guy, but yeah, that was fucked up. And the
Well,
final
he had to
episode,
save him somehow.
I know. Also, I forgot to mention Hodor. He dies, and that reveal was
Oh, Hodor.
yeah. And this is in
That
season.
reveal, that flashback, like they had like multiple flashbacks. One with like because Bran was like looking at like the past, the present, and like part of the future, I think. But like he was looking at um Ned Stark when he was trying to save his sister, and like he fought that night. It was like fighting like two people at once. Uh, but he also saw like a flashback of when they were all like young, like when um, it was Ned Stark as a young kid. I think he had like his sister was there, but they had Hodor, who was called Willis, and he just spoke regular words, like regular English. And when Bran had to take control over Hodor to save them, he took control of the Hodor of the past, and the Hodor of the past like suddenly stopped and was like looking around. He could hear I forgot what her name was, saying like hold the door, and he just fell on the ground yelling hold the door, hold door, and like that's how it started.
Yeah, that was
Like that
heartbreaking to
was
see.
sad. I'm like that's how he started saying Hodor. Like imagine like everyone in like that town, like they didn't know what was happening to him. Like we know now what happened, but like imagine like your son who's like a good guy, loves to fight, like wanted to be like a knight or something, falls on the ground, starts yelling out Hodor, and is never the same ever again. Like
Yeah,
that's heartbreaking.
and they never knew like how that happened.
And the thing is, Hodor, like when he was known as Willis or something, I think that was his name. He he like wanted to always fight with a sword, and now like Hodor, like when Bran would control him and he'd wake up, see like the blood on his hands, he's all sad. He's like Hodor, like it was sad.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed how just I like how they killed Littlefinger because throughout this season, Sansa and Arya reunite, and they kind of like had like a bit of a bickering because Arya blames Sansa for the death of like Ned Stark and Robb
Okay,
Stark and all that
Joe,
shit.
I gotta say that was all planned. That was they
I
knew
know,
Littlefinger was watching.
I know it was all planned, and like that was like a great reveal, and I
But,
love how
but when they first met, like when Sansa first heard that Arya was back and they hugged inside that basement place, that was so wholesome. Like they haven't
it
seen
was
each
wholesome.
other for years, and like them hugging each other, I'm like, it's been like so long, and they were always like kind of rivals and sisters, and now they kind of get to like be family for once.
I agree, and I think Littlefinger's death was satisfying. But this is where they should have ended it because ooh, here we go. Season 8.
Oh yeah, by the way, Littlefinger, I think he was a creep, and I like he was like doing like a Palpatine, trying to like trick everyone and trying to get like to the top, like
Yeah, he
playing
was
both
definitely a creep.
sides. And I don't know why he sold Sansa to the Boltons because I don't remember what his plan was, but didn't he want to rule like the Seven Kingdoms with Sansa as like his queen? Like he loved her, but like she didn't love him back, but he wanted her as like his queen.
I
Like,
guess. Yeah.
why would he send her there? Like, I think that was like one stupid thing that he did, where he's like, I had no idea what they do. I'm like, what do you mean that you had no idea what they do?
Also, I forgot to mention Jon Snow. There's like a whole reveal with him, and
Oh yeah, who he really is.
yeah, like he's a Targaryen,
Yeah,
and I
he's
love.
Aegon Targaryen the sixth.
Yeah, and he was the rightful heir to the king to the throne. And he's
That scene, like when like I think it was Sam told like Bran, he's like Bran, like, hey, I found something in like this book or something, and uh oh no, wait, no, it was in the flashback scene where we find out that the little baby that Ned Stark's sister had was actually Jon Snow. That they show the baby and like they zoom in on its face and then they cut immediately to Jon Snow and his face, and like that's
that
a
was
reveal
so good.
that he's actually, and at that point we just thought, oh, he's just a bastard child for the Targaryens as well. We didn't know that. What was Ned Stark's sister? Lyanna? Yeah, Lyanna
I,
Stark, I think. We didn't know that she actually married like the prince essentially. Like we didn't know about like that divorce and everything and that they got married. So he actually was a legitimate heir to the throne. No one knew because the story that Robert told was that the Mad King's son like stole her away, like he kidnapped her and raped her, and but secretly they were actually in love. So
yeah, and
um,
I just love that ending scene in season 6. We keep jumping to season 6. I'm sorry, but like where they announce Jon Snow as king in the North. That's where they should have ended it. That is where they should have ended the entire show
entire
because
show.
yeah,
But
because
Cersei was still alive.
I don't give a fuck. Like they should have ended it right there. That was such a good fucking ending to Jon Snow's
Okay,
character because he
I
finally
gotta
became
say,
king.
they shouldn't have ended it there, but they should have made the later seasons better. I would
Yeah, but
say
then he
that
immediately
because they still needed like Cersei dead,
yeah, and
and
then
there's
like,
still
but I hated one of the flaws I have for season 7 is that they as soon as Jon Snow got crowned king, he immediately is like, no, I'm gonna go to visit Daenerys, so I'm not gonna be king
okay.
anymore.
I understand his choice. He was still king. He'd still identified as king. He went there to try to gain her support because he needed that army. They needed every man that they could get. Him simping for her and submitting to her was something that I did not expect to happen. I understood why he left the North, and I understood why the North was upset that he left, but I understood all that. But what I did not understand is like the relationship between Daenerys and Jon. I mean, I guess there was some chemistry there, but it's kind of weird considering that she's technically his aunt. But um,
Yeah,
and him submitting as well, like the North, they wanted to be their own independent kingdom. That was like established even in the first season that they like Robert Baratheon let them be their own independent kingdom because Ned Stark was his friend. He's like, sure, man, you can do your own thing. But the way Jon Snow like just was like, oh, I'd bend the knee, but I can't because I'm stabbed and stuff. Like,
it's so stupid.
God. And it got what now. It's not as bad as how they portrayed him in season 8. Not nearly as bad.
Good
I just
God.
think that was slightly out of character for him. But now we're on to season 8, right?
Yep. Season 8.
Time to rant.
And
This
I'm gonna be ranting a lot, so yeah.
okay. I'm gonna say when it first started, like the first couple episodes, I'm like, it's not all that bad. But then progressively, it started to get worse. So the battle with the White Walkers. At first, I liked it, and I would like it even more if I could actually see. But because
Exactly.
there were moments when I'm like, "What the hell is happening?" I thought like Sam died or something because like on top of him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What's happening?" I'm like having like blink several times because of like darkness and everywhere. I'm like, I can't see what the fuck is happening, and I feel like some of those characters should have died. There was like 50 of them on top of like a character, and then oh, they
Yes.
survive, and I'm like, what the fuck? How?
And the thing is, Game of Thrones is known for killing off main characters in shocking ways. I feel like that would have been the perfect time to kill off at least one of them, because
You know,
Brienne,
they could have
Jamie,
killed off. They could have killed off Sam. He had no purpose afterwards.
yeah, they could have killed off Brienne, they could have killed
I,
off
I
Jamie, they
wouldn't.
could have killed off Sam.
No,
They were all trampled by
I
a bunch of
wouldn't.
fucking White Walkers.
I wouldn't want that to happen. I like their characters, but I think it would have been better. It's like, oh, we had some repercussions, not just, oh, some of our soldiers we don't care about died. Like,
Right.
there's that part. But overall, the fight was good. There was just a few moments here and there that I wish I could see,
It,
and I
and
thought was unrealistic. I did
I
like
gotta
Ser
say,
Jorah fighting to his last breath, but yeah,
yeah, but he's still a cuck. But
yeah.
I liked that episode before the big fight because Brienne getting knighted was
Knighted.
great. And I just liked all the final moments between the characters before the big battle.
And
The
I
battle
mentioned
itself,
I mentioned this. I said I liked the season before the fight because we never get to see everyone preparing for a fight in movies. We usually just see the fight, but really it's the night before that's the most terrifying because you think it's like this could be my last night on this earth. Like you don't know what's going to happen. It's like a tension building, really, because even though nothing's happening, it's the fact that nothing's happening that makes you tense because
that's
it's
something I
going to
hope
happen.
that's something that I hope happens in Stranger Things 5, where it's kind of similar to this, where they just all have like final moments together.
Yeah, they all, like it's just drinking. like
Yeah,
it's
drinking,
like
fucking, drinking and fucking.
it's
Yeah,
like you really want to drink before a fight? It's like yeah, it's my last drink.
exactly. And the long night itself, I thought the fight was okay overall. It was a good
Wait,
fight.
and
It had
also
its
weren't
moments.
they didn't they have a thing between like Sansa and Tyrion? Because I remember like when they were hiding behind the crypt, they were like holding hands or something. I
Yeah,
think they like grew to like appreciate each other more
yeah, they didn't love
because
each other, but they respected each
cause
other.
because she said like of all the people like of my husbands, she's like you were the best one because he wasn't a sociopath.
He didn't fucking rape her. Yeah,
Yeah, he's like that's alarming.
yeah. I
He was
mean,
actually like I'm the best. That's kind of alarming. That's concerning.
yeah, exactly.
I thought I really respected him after like he refused to like
Yeah,
sleep
I
with
really
her.
respected him. But yeah, the long night itself, it was a good fight. I enjoyed some of it. Daenerys is a fucking idiot though. Like she stood there when Jon was running away trying to kill the fucking Night King. The dragon almost died because she just stood there like look at him, look at that ass and all that shit. Like she was just like staring at
Like,
him.
she
The
wasn't like
dragon
that.
almost got
She's just
fucking
like
killed. Like she might
she's
as
just
well have
staring.
because like just jeez, like fuck off with that shit. Just fucking fly away. There's a bunch of motherfuckers here. And then John, like, I get it. Jon Snow was trying to kill the Night King and all that. And the thing is, I wanted him to do that. And I'm gonna go off like real. Just let me have this. But
Okay.
so for 5 whole seasons, we were promised that like we were thinking that Jon Snow was the chosen one, like a prince was promised or whatever the fuck that whole prophecy thing was called. I think that Jon Snow killing the White Walker would have, yes, it would have been predictable,
Wait a
but
minute. The prince that was
satisfying.
chosen that never ended up going anywhere, did it?
It didn't. That was supposed to be Jon Snow.
Yeah, the prince that was chosen that never went anywhere. And even when they
Yeah,
thought it could have been Daenerys, because they said it never said prince specifically, it was like a neutral term. That prophecy didn't go anywhere.
yeah.
I just
And
now
the thing is,
realized
like,
that.
if it was Daenerys, I would have been a little less upset. But I'm still it still should have been Jon. The one character that has never done anything with the White Walkers, had nothing to do with it, fucking killed the Night King. Arya goddamn Stark. Are you fucking kidding me? Like
Are you
how in
kidding me?
the shit?
Get the joke.
Like how in the fuck does like I get it. She's an assassin. She's like she like sneaks around and she's a fucking ninja, but she had nothing to do with that's like Black Widow killing Thanos. Like
Okay,
that.
so
It has nothing
the
to do.
justification that they used was something that was mentioned all the way in the first season, where they said like, what do we say to like the god of death, not today or something, and she even mentioned they were throwing hints at it, like I don't agree with that it happened, but they were throwing hints, like how she was saying like looking forward to seeing one of death's many faces, and how they were comparing the Night King with death itself, like it's the incarnation of death, and she was going against death with when she left the faceless man. So I think they were hinting at it, but it's not like it was out of nowhere. But I kind of knew it was gonna happen when they mentioned that she was going to kill Brown Eyes, Green Eyes, and Blue Eyes, and all the White Walkers have Blue Eyes, and she left the room like I knew then it's going to happen, but it
I.
really should have been Jon Snow.
It should
Now,
have been John.
now, what would have been better is if she assisted Jon Snow. Like, what if Jon was like fighting the Night King and was like failing, and then she like probably like distracts the Night King, or like hands him, like throws him her knife or something, and he kills him. Something like that would have been fine as long as Jon fought the Night King, which is what they were setting it up to do. His
Yeah,
sister could
he
have
didn't.
assisted. She could have assisted in the fight and still would have done well, I'm sure, because she was a ninja. But even if she ended up killing him in the end, as long as Jon were to fight the Night King and at least fucking try, it would have been
Yes,
fine. That would have
that's
been
just
better. Like him fighting him and about to lose, and then he gets stabbed in the back by someone as Arya. Like at least he distracted the Night King for that to happen.
exactly.
She just pounced on him. She did like a cool little trick with like the knife and stabbed him. But I'm like, just have Jon Snow there. A big dragon got in his way, and fuck.
It's
It
just
would have
so
been, you know what would have
stupid.
been cool if he somehow killed the dragon just to get to the Night King. That would have shown how badass he is. But
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it
think he would have killed the
screamed at
dragon.
it. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Screaming at it, like, oh, like, what the fuck? Like, what's that gonna
So
do?
I think he was trying to die or something. He was like accepting his fate. There's a
Yeah,
big dragon blocking the way. I know
but he
what to
doesn't.
do. Ah!
Like, Jesus Christ! At least go down swinging like you did in Battle of the Bastards, you fucking lunatic.
He's like a big dragon in my way. What could I do? I could run around him. I could fight him. I would choose option C. Just screaming at the top of his lungs.
Jesus
And then the
Christ!
dragon just fell and he's like, oh, that worked.
Oh yeah, I truly think he thought that worked. They fucking butchered Jon Snow so much that I've like, oh shit, it actually worked.
So
Okay.
in so season 8, I think they made Tyrion a dumbass, first of all.
They made everybody a dumbass. Every single
And
character is.
I also think they ruined Cersei's character as well.
Yeah,
Because
they did.
she hated Tyrion the entire series, talking about I want his head, I want him to be dead. Now she's like, he's my brother now that there's like it's season 8. Like
Yeah,
what?
and the and the
Were there
dumbest
like new
thing.
writers or something? Like what happened?
No, it was the same writers. It's just that it was the same writers throughout. It's just that they had a Star Wars contract and they just wanted to get rid of Game of Thrones as like quickly as possible. So they just decided to butcher season 8.
What
And
Star Wars contract did they have?
I don't fucking know. It's canceled now, but
Oh,
um
oh, great! So they butchered it for nothing.
and I it just God. And I remember saying like, "What the fuck are you doing, Tyrion? She's trying to kill you. Why are you negotiating with her? You should fucking know this."
Don't worry, I'm so small. All the arrows will miss me.
God, it's so stupid,
And
man. Like,
also, I gotta say, Jon Snow. Okay, I will say Daenerys turning evil. I wasn't upset about that. There were signs with that. I was still pissed that she
yeah,
burned down the city, but I think the plot points were good, but the execution was shit. They were hinting like about like the her vision with the Iron Throne and like the castle was all broken and stuff, and there was snow through it. I think they could have still had like the battle with the White Walkers. They could have still had like maybe Arya assisting Jon Snow or just not being there at all. And they could have still had Daenerys going insane out of like jealousy for Jon Snow. Like, these people are never gonna love me. It's better that they fear me, and she burns down the city. That would have made her like a good villain. Like, hey, surprise villain.
Yeah.
But what really got me was the execution of it, because Jon Snow was in the middle of the fucking city. He saw it all happening, and he's like, "She's still our queen." And said to Tyrion, "Oh,
Like, fuck off.
she's still your queen too." And he was like, Tyrion had to literally be like, "Dude, did you not see what I just saw?" And like, he's like, "Come on, you're the rightful heir. Like, he's like, man up and do something." He's like, "She's our queen," and leaves. And he's like, "Are you fucking?"
Even Jorah, the biggest fucking simp on the planet, would say, no, Daenerys kind of deserves to die. Like,
It's like,
God, he made Jon Snow such a big fuck.
like not sit on the fucking throne. She's
Yeah,
clearly not mentally. You know what would have been better is if, like, when he actually did decide to kill her, and he's like, "You'll always be my queen," and stabbed her. What would have
God
been
damn it.
better is if he's like, "I love the Khaleesi, but you're not the Khaleesi. You're the Mad Queen, and you killed her." And then he
Yes,
stabs her. That would have
that
been
would have been
better
cool.
because it would
Instead
have
of
been
just saying, like,
it would
instead
have
of just
been
saying, like,
like it would have been like the woman I loved is dead because you killed her. So, like, you mean nothing to me now. And he stabs her because it would have
yeah.
been better because he fell in love with the Khaleesi. He did not fall in love with this psychopath who was like trying to dominate
Yeah.
everyone and like burn anyone who doesn't submit to her. Like,
And then, like, oh, God.
And also, like, Arya was like in the middle of the city, somehow survived like by ducking around corners, and then when she saw like Jon Snow, and she was like, "Are you sure about the queen and stuff like that? Like, I know a killer when I see one." I'm like, "Do you not remember that you were inside the city?" She's like, What do you mean? Are you sure about this queen? You saw her burning it down, King's Landing." And
God,
her
it's so.
saying, I know a killer when I see one. I'm like, yeah, I'll know a killer
I know
too when I see
shit.
them fucking killing people. Like, that line is reserved for, oh, they haven't killed anyone yet, but you know, they're
And
capable of it.
the
But
thing is,
she saw Daenerys kill people. Of course you're gonna
yeah.
recognize a killer
And
when you
and the
see them
thing
do
is,
it.
and the thing is, the fucking bells happened. She surrendered, and Arya, not Arya, Daenerys still killed the entire city. Like,
Yeah,
what the
because
fuck?
they surrendered, and I think that was supposed to be like her being a villain. I'm like, again, that would have been fine if they executed it better. I
Yeah,
think
it can
they
completely
still
out of left
they,
field.
they, and I think they should. I mean, I did say like I see crazy in her eyes. Remember, like earlier when we were watching the series together, like I noticed she was kind of going crazy. I'm like, I see crazy in those eyes. So
Yeah,
I think we were supposed to be like, what the fuck? But that would have been. I'm not really like mad about that. It's just the characterization of the characters. I feel like they butchered the characters themselves,
there were
and
hints.
they still could have done better, like showing her slowly going more insane. At first, I didn't get her motivations. I had to like go back and like kind of re-listen to some of the scenes with her and Jon Snow before I understood why she did what she did. But it could have done better, like her like feeling like that was the only choice. But it was so
Yeah.
messed up.
It was, yeah, it was so dumb. And yeah, and like even the mountain versus the hound fight was unsatisfying. It felt like we didn't get to it yet, but it felt like the Sabretooth fight, or not the Deadpool and Wolverine fight in Origins Wolverine. Or it just felt like maybe even the Sabretooth fight when we get to that. Like, it's so stupid.
Well,
You'll see comparisons between the two.
wait. I wanted to ask you something. Do you think the role should have been reversed between Jon Snow, Arya, the Night King, and Daenerys? That it should have been Arya killing Daenerys and Jon Snow killing the Night King?
Yes.
Because Arya would have a reason to kill Daenerys. She was in the city, almost died, and she put people on her list, not only when they wronged her family, but just when they wronged regular people. She's like, okay, that guy's on my list now. So
Yeah.
wouldn't like she already decided to spare Cersei's life because she decided not to live by revenge. And I was expecting I was actually expecting that she was probably going to kill Cersei, but find out she was pregnant or something, and not want to kill the child or spare her. But Daenerys should be at like the top of her list now. Be like, okay, she's worse than Cersei or Joffrey ever was. She killed more people, if she snuck into the throne room and killed her, I wouldn't complain. Like Jon Snow wouldn't have to be the one to kill her because honestly, they weren't even together for like all that long, and she really didn't have much of a rivalry with Jon Snow. It's the fact that the Night King and Jon Snow were like hinted at fighting for like seasons, like multiple seasons. They're like they encountered each other, like stared each other in the eye, like they're sworn enemies, and then they just never fought. That
Yeah. And like the thing is, Game of Thrones is
that
known for like subverting expectations, but this makes The Last Jedi look good in
I
terms of
mean,
expectation.
imagine it's like Luke Skywalker never fights Darth Vader, and then Han Solo kills the Emperor. Like, what the fuck? That's kind of
Yeah,
what Game of Thrones season 8
exactly. Yeah, like Han Solo, someone who had nothing to do with the fucking Emperor at all,
Emperor kills him.
just shoots him square in the face. But then, like, oh my god, it's so stupid. And then Leia just turns fucking evil for no reason, and then Han's like, I still love you, and then shoots him in the fucking face or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's so stupid.
It's so dumb, but
And then Yoda's like, like, dumbass I am, or whatever the fuck is. I compare him to
fucked
Tyrion
up
because
the
they're both
situation is.
fucked up. Situation is do nothing. I must, but God, it's
But
so
yeah,
funny. And
the role
Varys,
should have been reversed.
they do nothing about it.
The role should have been reversed because I could see Arya killing Daenerys because Arya's sneaky. She could sneak past all the guards, and Daenerys can't fight for shit. Like without
Yeah,
her dragon, and her dragon wasn't not in the room. Nothing was stopping Arya from like sneaking in there and like slicing her throat,
honestly, it's so
or like
bad.
saying something like every drop of blood that you take is like the blood of all the victims that you killed, or something like that,
Yeah, like
or like
honestly, I think
hung her
this
up or something.
that was just so bad that like the Jon Snow and Daenerys relationship was so bad that I honestly thought at one point Jon was gonna say, instead of sitting on the Iron Throne, why don't you sit on my face?
Oh my god! But I like the relationship between Ygritte and Jon Snow. That was
Yeah,
fine. I thought that was perfect, and
yeah,
that
because it
ended
came
in
natural.
tragedy. But I think they were trying to do the same thing, like, oh, they love each other, ends in tragedy. I'm like, Ygritte never burned down a
Even
city.
though
She shot
Daenerys
a
is
guy in the
secretly his
she
aunt.
shot she shot a guy in the face with an arrow during a time of war. Yeah, it was messed up, but they were taught to hate each other, like the common people and the wildlings. But Daenerys constantly was like, I'm gonna liberate the people of King's Landing. Now she's like, I'm gonna liberate them with fire. Like, oh shit. Like
And then Jon gets a fucking boner, like, oh my queen.
one my queen, such a badass by burning everyone. One thing I
I get to
did
have
like,
my
but
babies, and
only only one thing I did like was Theon. Like when Bran said to him, "You're a good man, Theon," and like he finally got to like recognize himself as a good person and fight the Night King, defending Bran.
yeah,
That was nice.
Theon went out like a badass. I loved how they ended Theon's story.
I liked that, but I gotta say, the final episode. Why the fuck did they make Bran the fucking king? A
I don't know.
person
It's
who
so
was
stupid.
the second most insignificant character. Like he was good as like a Spock. He was good as a guy being like, I have all the knowledge and wisdom. He was good in that regard, but he was absent for an entire season. Not someone you would associate with being a king, and they're like, let's king him. Versus Jon Snow, who would have been the rightful king, so it wouldn't technically be regicide, him killing Daenerys, because she was never really the queen in the first place, because he was rightful. So technically they shouldn't imprison him, because he technically didn't commit regicide, but whatever. Um, they should have revealed to everyone he's actually Aegon Targaryen. We have to let him out because he's actually the rightful king. So therefore, he didn't do any crime. He didn't do regicide. So he would have sat on the throne and been a good ruler because the best ruler is someone who doesn't want the power. But it never ended up happening that way. Jon Snow left and turned out to be completely useless and just went into the fucking woods with the wildlings. Bran became Bran the Broken and was like, I'm king now for some reason.
Brandon
Sansa,
broken. Is it because he's a cripple, or is it because he actually like felt broken?
because
Decide.
he's a cripple. He can't feel broken. He feels nothing.
Oh my god.
He, no, he literally says, "I can't feel." Like he doesn't feel anything. You can't break something that's non-existent. But Sansa becoming Queen of the North, I suppose that makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense. Arya traveling the world, I think that makes sense for her because she she's not like her. If she went with like Gendry or something and became like the lady of like whatever place he was ruling now, like I think that wouldn't fit her character because she never wanted to be ladylike. She clearly liked Gendry, but her exploring the world was kind of more fitting for her character. But the way they ended Bran, Jon Snow, Daenerys, and uh, all the other shit was stupid. And the dragon, after Jon Snow killed its mom, I was expecting it to, I don't know, try to kill him. But it's just like, fuck the chair. I'm blaming the chair for this. Like it just burnt down the Iron Throne for like no fucking reason. Jon Snow didn't even want it. It didn't try to kill him after he killed its mother. Essentially, the dragon just took its anger out on the throne for some reason. I guess it's loyal to the Targaryens, but still.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I could go on and on, but we've been going at this for 2 hours now. It's season 8. It was worse than I thought, and I feel like I just had my whole time wasted because it just felt like
Season
Game of
one
Thrones
through
was,
seven felt like a different show. I
yeah,
I I left season 8 being like, I want to continue Game of Thrones. Can I continue Game of Thrones? Not whatever the fuck this was. Can you give me the real season 8? I want the real season 8.
yeah. Eventually we might get it, but good God, I'm just
Make
so
like the alternate cut or something.
yeah, like the Game of Thrones, the real cut, and I just
No, how
God,
about the writer's cut? Because the writer would know how to end it better.
the George R. R. Martin cut. If he finishes the fucking book. But yeah, I don't blame the directors entirely. Like it's definitely their fault mostly because they got lazy and they just rushed the stories. Like fuck this show, we're gonna go to Star Wars. But
Well,
I also George R. R.
honestly,
Martin for
it's not really the directors. It's more like the writers of the script and the producers and all
they
those
wrote it
people.
too.
Oh, the directors wrote it. Okay, well then fuck
Yeah,
them.
they wrote it. Yeah, but I don't blame. I don't just blame D&D. That's what they call them. But I blame George R. R. Martin as well for being lazy. Because say what you want about J.K. Rowling, at least she finished the Harry Potter books while they were filming. Because
And she finished the last book before they made the last movie.
yes, exactly. So they had the source material to do it for the last like 2, 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. They just had to throw shit at the wall and hope it landed. And again, I'm not the the directors are not blameless either. Like they're at fault too. But I feel like George R. R. Martin should have finished his shit the before the series ended because this would have been one of the greatest shows of all time. But the finale was so bad that not only did the Star Wars show fail, nobody fucking talks about it anymore. And I still consider, even with season 8, I still consider this one of my favorite shows of all time. But it just fell so far down the rabbit hole that I just can't forgive season 8 for what it did, despite all the good shit that happened in seasons 1 through 6. I just
I
hate it.
swear, I swear, it feels like a different show. It feels like the show ended with 7, and 8 was some weird thing that exists.
God, it was so bad. And people like
Well,
to point fingers at the Star Wars movies and stuff. Like, okay, I don't hate the reason why I watched Game of Thrones is because I don't hate the new trilogy of Star Wars. I can't. I watched Rise of Skywalker the other day. People hate that. I can't bring myself to hate it. Yeah, it's got flaws. I like it less and less every time I watch it, but I'm like, I can't hate it. It's
you
still got
don't hate it, but you don't love it either.
yeah. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Same
Me,
with the Last Jedi.
I have
But
different opinions on that, but that's
what
for
do you
another
think?
day. That's for another day.
Just give me a short synopsis. What did you think?
I don't really like the sequels all that much. 8 and 9 kind of sucked. 7 was fine, but
Yeah, no, I feel the same. Like I don't like 8 or 9. They're fine, but like they're not like great. And the same with 1 and 2. But anyways, um, I just think, yeah, like I don't hate the new Star Wars movies, and I didn't think I was gonna hate this. It was much worse than I thought, and I could totally see why people who are fans of Game of Thrones for years felt unsatisfied and bullshit. It just feels like a bunch of bullshit just got thrown at you, and you're just expected to be satisfied with it. It's just every character was butchered, even the most boring motherfucker, Daenerys, and I feel so like destroyed.
if even the most boring character got butchered, you know you did something wrong.
Yes, exactly. Because I didn't want to hate Daenerys. I wanted her to get better, but she got fucking worse.
Well, I think she was meant to be the villain the whole time or something.
Yeah, but the fucking thing is that, like, just do it
It,
well,
it,
you
it
know?
felt like the switch was more sudden, like, oh, I'm evil now, rather than like slowly more. I mean, she did burn a few people that resisted her, but she was always like that. She was always like you resist me, I kill you. Like,
Yeah,
but she did still say, "I want to liberate like the good people." Like, it makes sense. She hated the soldiers of the Lannisters. So did Jon Snow's people, but
yeah,
she wasn't completely evil. Then all of a sudden, oh, because she's a little bit jealous of her, technically her nephew,
exactly.
technically, right? Who she's
Nephew,
fucking,
boyfriend.
who she's fucking, by the way. Because of
Yep,
that, I'm gonna burn down a city. Like,
exactly.
you know, they could have just ruled together and it would have been fine. Like, didn't she think of that? Like, oh, the North would bow to me if they bow to you. She didn't fucking think about that.
Yeah,
And also, what also pissed me off was she said she liberated the people of King's Landing by burning them. She's like, I'm gonna liberate everything from Winterfell to Dorne. You think John would have been like, okay, that's it, and stabbed her? Like, you're not taking my home away.
exactly.
Or I was also expecting Tyrion to do a Jaime Lannister, like fulfill exactly what his brother did, and just stab her in the back when she's essentially saying burn them all. He just stabs her in the back and pushes her down the stairs, and he's like, and John and him try to like fight to like escape unsullied. Like he tries to get him out of there or something. Like I don't know, that would have been better, I guess. And anything would have
It's
been better than what happened.
exactly. But yeah, we've gone on to this for almost 2 hours now. I'm
Okay,
done. I talked about
I'm,
season 8.
I'm done too. It was fun.
Let's just read the comments. Maybe the comments will.
So
Yeah,
it's going on too long. We should just end it
there's
here.
only two comments. It's fine, and they're short. So,
Okay.
but I feel like this might be worse. All right, Daniel. Hold on. Let me go to newest. Yeah, Daniel says another really great, enjoyable episode. Keep up the bird-esque work. I've never seen Bad Batch, but it's still fun to hear you guys talk about it. Can't wait for the next episode. Yeah, this is a Bad Batch episode. Hashtag Joe is the man. Hashtag Jake is a bad neighbor. Hashtag Joe loves the bus. I don't. Hashtag bad bussy. God damn it. Jake is the fucking king. Hashtag Joe loves that foggy bus. What the fuck? Hashtag pod 12. My brain is slowly dying inside. And Pour the Pen Podcast Clip says, never seen Bad Batch, not the biggest new Star Wars fan, but still super enjoyable episode. Hashtag I heart bussy. Hashtag Joe's bussy. Hashtag Joe needs that foggy bussy. Hashtag Jake is the bus king. What the fuck? Hashtag plot. Hashtag Pod 12, hashtag Joey said boo bussy, hashtag the bussy strikes back, hashtag the bussy will get you banned, hashtag Diddy? I thought that's a dirty Diddy bussy. Oh my god, what the fuck, dude? That's somehow where I forgive season 8 now. Um, God. All right.
Apparently, I'm the Bussy King.
I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say a reference to Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna fucking say it. Oh,
Oh god.
all right. Um. Fuck, man. This is. All
I
right.
feel like remember Spider-Man 3 when he's like, people really like me. I feel like that.
They love me.
They love me.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me on YouTube at where I'm fucking putting this podcast out. You can find me on Instagram at Josie8356. I have a Discord server. Check it out. I stream whenever the fuck I want to. I play Helldivers, Mario Party, Mario Kart, all that shit. Jake is actually done with school, so expect more from him probably. I don't know. I might drag him into some stuff. Um,
Yeah, if I feel up to it.
and yeah, more big stuff to come. So, Jake, you got anything you want to say? Like, anything coming up that you're part of?
Uh, well, my birthday's tomorrow. That's
Yeah,
fun.
happy birthday.
My last day of being 17.
Yep, last day of being a kid. And, I, forget what, oh yeah, he's in the Mario Kart collab, as you all know. Check that out when the day arrives. So, that's about it. We need to get off now. Thank you
Well,
again for joining. Uh,
see
yeah,
you
I'll see you
guys.
in the next one. Talking Game of Thrones season 8. The night was dumb. That season was dumb and full of errors. So, uh,
Thank God, that was perfect. Oh my God. The season is dumb and full of errors.
yeah, all right. I'm done. See you guys.